Hello everyone, this is Yukai Chow, founder and CEO of Virology.com, and I'm here to help you become more powerful and more successful in the game of business. Today I want to talk about business as usual is the equivalent of death as usual. The reason why I want to talk about this topic is because last week I was a speaker at the International or Internet Marketing Conference, and there were a lot of executives there learning about a lot of internet marketing techniques and topics like social media, SEO, analytics, A/B testing, and all that stuff. So I talked to these executives and asked them a lot of questions such as, are you using social media? Are you on Twitter? Are you doing these things to engage your audience? And some of the executives have been saying, oh, we're not very comfortable with social media. It's a whole world that opens up and it's hard to control and whatnot. And I've seen that in so many businesses, not just from moving into social media in general, or just adapting their business models, just adapting to the new environment. And it's so easy because this company has been so big, has been there for so long for a reason, and that's because their old model has been working, right? They've been making a lot of money, a lot of customers love them, and they buy their products.
So why change to the new ways?
I would say that the environment is changing so much faster now that if you stick to the old ways, you're going to die with the old ways, right? 50 years ago, the environment doesn't change as much as today. Today, 1 year later, the technology is totally changed. How people access information, products, how people look at pricing, how people find things. It's totally different. So you have to constantly be innovating and changing, right? It's kind of like the dinosaurs. The dinosaur at that time, they're the strongest. They're very, very powerful, and they are the kings of their time. However, the climate changed, and they were not ready to adapt to the climate, and therefore they all died off, right? Darwin did not say survival of the fittest. Darwin said survival of the ones that are best at adapting. Something like that, paraphrasing almost. So the key is to really adapt, to go into new technology. And in terms of social media, the conversations there are happening anyway. People are talking publicly. So it's just whether you engage them or not, right? People are talking about your brand on Twitter, they're talking about your brand on blogs and forums, and if you are there, if you're actively monitoring and actively engaging them, you do a lot of damage control, right? And sometimes, yes, some people are complaining that, oh, I talked to this customer service and it was really very frustrating, right? And a company might say, well, we don't have a person who can solve all these problems. It's going to be too big of a department to really solve their problems through Twitter. And I would say that sometimes when people are tweeting out things, they're just complaining. At that point, they already gave up on the problem, right? And when you complain, you don't necessarily need to have the problem solved. Obviously, a good idea, but you don't need it. You just need someone to hear you, to be heard, for someone to respond and say, we're really sorry about the problem, we're trying to fix it right now, and we'll let you know when something's there. When that happens, there's a lot more control. The person feels better. They feel like the company is responding to them instead of just, please hold, for like 10 minutes, whatnot, right? It's just terrible. So it's just really gauging your audience. Right now, consumers don't trust brands as much as people, right? They don't trust the professional front. Every website says, we're the premier, we're the global leader in this field. And consumers don't trust that. Consumers trust engagement. You've been talking to them, you've been sharing information, you've been caring about them. That's when they trust you. And when you say, we provide a brand new product to you, they're going to go to you because they trust you. Another thing that's really, really interesting is that I have realized that a lot of times when you engage the people who are complaining, when you talk to the people who have a problem, who are outspoken about you, a lot of times they convert and they become your biggest evangelists. And this is very normal because these are people who self-identify, like, we are people who are outspoken about your brand. And we're unhappy, so we're going to talk crap about your brand. Now, if you talk to them and you engage them and say, oh, we're really sorry for the problem, let us provide it to you as fast as possible. And this is one of the powers of social media. You can engage them within a minute if you want. And how amazing it is whenever you complain about a company, the company comes to you in a minute and says, we're really sorry, let us make it up for you, right? And these people oftentimes become your biggest evangelists. And again, this is the power of social media, right? Everyone is a little publisher, right? It's a lot of little magazines with 1,000 readers each. So you want to make sure that all these little publishers are happy that they like your stuff. And again, they have the trust of their readers, right? Their readers been reading their blog, been following their Twitter for 6 months, a year. And that trust is what you can leverage. And that's what you have to build your brand upon. So I would say constantly look into what needs to be changed in your biz. I know the old way works, you're beating the other companies right now, but you know that the environment, the market is always changing. And you have to be changing too. You have to shape yourself. And because you're already a big firm in a strong place, you actually have an advantage over the little ones who are still, they don't have enough resources to do these things. So as long as you're active in doing it, you always have that initiative. I think that you have a much better chance of being a leader. Another big point is that a lot of companies say that, these social media techniques, they're cool for small businesses, consultants, but for a big firm like us, what do we do? It's not relevant. And I will tell you that it's even more relevant, because it's a lot easier when you have a brand built. The tough job with social media is getting you to go from a nobody to a somebody, right? You have no brand, and you're trying to, in 6 months, engage everyone online possible and make a name out of yourself. When you're Starbucks, you don't have to do everything correctly. You just have to put up a Facebook page, put up a Twitter account. They call it social media ticketing, I've learned these days. You just have to put it up, and you'll be doing fine. But imagine if you had one person who does everything that the sole proprietor, the small company does, or even a division of 5-10 people like Comcast, right? You can do so much more, and you can outcompete your competitors who are all scared of using social media. So I'm not saying you have to use social media, I recommend it, but I'm saying you should always look into new thing, and don't be afraid. Just devote some resources to looking into the next big thing, right? Whether it be your product, because a lot of companies do that for products, but also ways of distribution, marketing, your business model. Always be open to new ideas, because that's how you can survive, and that's how you're built to last. This is Yukai Chow, and you have been FDtized. Thank you.